Namaste, welcome back. It is Friday, April 3rd, and most of us have found out recently that this isolation is going to continue at least through the end of the month. So today I thought that I would do a warrior flow so we can kind of tap into our inner strength and into that feeling of we can do it. And we can do it. We're going to do it. We're going to get through it, and we're going to get through it together. So let's get started. We're going to start out in coming down into table. So as we come into table, we come onto hands and knees. And we're going to stretch out our feet. We just want to we're just going to warm up a little bit before we get into our warriors. So tucking your toes under. Bring your rear end back toward your heels. So the toes are tucked under. Your focus area now is the soles of the feet, the arches, the toes, the heels, and into your Achilles tendons a little bit here. Now if you're getting a good stretch, stay right here. If you would like a little bit more, come up and sit on your heels. Put them in the frame here. It's so hard to tell. Okay, so with the toes tucked under, sitting on the heels again, focus areas through the feet. I'm going to bring yourselves back to table, and now taking the tops of your feet onto the floor. And we're going to stretch back again, rear end back to heels, forehead eases down. This is an extended version of child's pose. Your forehead goes to the floor, let it go to the floor. I'm going to move back into table. And from table, we're going to do a couple cat-cows. So we're inhaling, belly down, head up. And then exhaling, pulling the pelvis under, pressing up into cat. So you breathe into the sway back cow, and we exhale from cat. And some of you may choose to continue just like this, working with your cat-cow, or you can move into flowing cat, which is to press back, rear end back to the heels, bend the elbows, and as you're breathing in, you're scooping through to come up, and then rolling back like a wave. So nice deep breath in, all the way up to the top, crest, and roll back with your exhalation. And here you can close your eyes, draw your senses in, and just let yourself relax into the sensation of moving with your breath. So you're moving in a nice, smooth, fluid wave. Beginning your inhalation as you start to move forward, and you breathe in all the way to the top, and then breathing out all the way back and down. Now some of you may choose to continue right here with this flowing cat, and otherwise we're going to float a table, tuck the toes under, come into a down dog. And you may choose to hold your down dog in stillness if it's your first down dog of the day and you want to move around a little bit. Maybe this is the first bit of exercise that you've done today. Try pedaling your feet a few times and just kind of walk your dog, move around, encourage the backs of your legs to open up. Another option, you can lift up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees quite deeply, and then pulse your legs a few times. Energize your legs. We start to really work with the big muscles in the legs. We start to build some heat. And then we'll lift right up on the balls of the feet, easing the heels toward the floor. And then bend your knees, come down, take a stretch back into child's pose. And always feeling free to rest here if you need it, or see if you can take a smooth flow through table to downward dog. Flow into plank, and maybe draw the heart into a raised cobra. Gentle back bend. Belly to spine, downward dog. Bend the knees, table, all the way back, child's pose. Flow through table, downward dog. Maybe we take a plank and ease the heart through to raised cobra. For a deeper back bend, come onto the tops of the feet, upward dog. And we'll take belly to spine for down. And bend the knees for a table and stretch back into child's pose. Rest if you need it, or we'll take that flow one more time, nice and smooth. Flowing to down dog. Plank through to the raised cobra or the up dog back to down. And now you can choose to come to table. We're going to be coming up to standing, or if you're comfortable with it, you can step your feet forward and rise up with a big victorious breath. And we all find our way to our mountain. So you come into mountain, take a big breath in, lift up and stretch your toes. Exhale and sweep your arms down. Spin the palms so they look away from each other. We're gonna rise up into volcano. Breathe in, push down into your feet, lengthen your spine. Here we're gonna ease toward forward bend. Some of you may fold all the way in. And for others, especially if you're not feeling very warmed up, stop about a quarter of the way. Press the tops of your thigh bones back. Just see how it feels. This is a good stretch for you. Stay right here. And if you want to go a little deeper, try the flat back half position. Again, you're just seeing how it feels. If you want to go deeper, you go where it makes sense for your body. Soften your knees, take a slow roll all the way up and a big deep breath in. Lift and spread your toes. Exhale, returning to mountain. And just step our feet out into a wide stance as we prepare to come into warrior one. For warrior one, we're going to spin the back foot in and the front foot out. We're going to bring the hip points to look out over the front leg. Oh, don't touch your face. And we're going to bring knee over ankle. So what we want to watch out for in these types of poses is that, I hope I'm in the frame here, is that you're not doing something that looks like this. If you're bringing your knee out over your toes, that can stress your knee joint. We always want to protect our joints. So a better way to do your warrior, make sure that your shin bone's coming straight up or that it's tipping back towards you a little bit, and that way you won't strain your knee. So we're rooted into the feet very solidly here. You want to feel the outside edge of your back foot is pressed down and the heel. So what you want to avoid is kind of collapsing in, rolling in on the arch like this. Try to correct that if you catch yourself doing it. So we've got our feet, we've got that solid stance, we feel the contact points of the feet, and then we're going to take the arms up. And a lot of teachers teach this pose with the hands over the shoulders. I learned it with the hands together, so you'll do it how it feels right for you. If you want your hands apart, you can take your hands apart. As you're standing in your warrior one, feeling yourself rooting into your feet, feel your tailbone drawing toward the floor and feel your ribs coming up out of your waist. And then your shoulder blades are moving down like they want to meet up with your low back ribs. And what that's going to do is give the heart a lift. So we get that heart moving forward and up. We want to feel that lifted heart in warrior one. And then we'll bring the hands into the heart. Push firmly into your feet. And we'll take warrior one to the other side. So you're going to turn right from the ankles. And if you're using a chair, have your chair in front of you. Rest your hands on the chair. And then as we come into the pose, if you're using a chair, keep what would be your back hand on the chair. And we're going to sweep up. Press down into the outside edge of the back foot. Check your knee, make sure your knee's in nice alignment over the ankle or tipping back toward you. We can feel that the hip points are trying to look out over the front leg, tailbone's lengthening down, ribs are coming up out of the waist, shoulder blades are moving toward those low ribs, and the heart is lifted. And then we'll bring hands into heart, push firm into your feet, and we'll change sides. So as we breathe in now, I'm going to rise into our warrior. And this time, even if you do normally do the pose with your hands apart, bring them together. And I'm going to stretch like the thumbs want to touch the back of the heart, like they're reaching toward that space between the shoulder blades. And then when you come up and over, straightening the front leg, hands to the heart, take a moment, lengthen your spine, draw the tailbone and the crown of the head away from each other. So we're kind of lifting right up out of the front hip. And as you exhale, we're going to ease into extended leg stretch. So try not to bend your knee. As soon as you do this, you're not in extended leg stretch anymore. You've turned it into a lunge. So you don't want to lose your stretch. If you're getting a good stretch right here, stay right here. Maybe your hands slide to your knee or to your shin or to your ankle, or maybe they get to the floor. They go where they go without force. So again, this isn't the time to be really pushing yourself into new dimensions with your practice. We want to stay healthy and strong and flexible, but we really don't want to end up in the emergency room. So nice stretch through the front leg wherever you feel it. And then we're going to bend the front leg, root down into your feet from that sense of pressing toward the earth. Rise to your warrior. And now bring the hands to the heart. And we'll change sides. Breathing in, we rise. Find your feet, make any adjustments you need to. Shoulder blades moving down. Thumbs are going to stretch toward the back of the heart. And then we come up and over. Breathe in, tail and crown draw away from each other. And we go with our exhalation. And again, maybe we're leaning in a fraction of an inch. There's nothing wrong with it if your extended leg stretch looks like this. It's a lot better to have it look like this than to look like this. Just because you want to get your hands to the floor, you've bent your knee, you lose your stretch. So again, wherever it is, and even though we're keeping the front leg straight, there's just that little bit of softness in the joint. It's just a little bit bouncy, so it doesn't feel locked. You're getting a nice stretch. You're breathing, you're not forcing. So we all know the difference between where we can be, where we're feeling some challenge. I don't know if I'm in the frame. And then we're going to bend the front leg. Press down into your feet, and we're going to rise. All the way up. Hands come to heart. And we're going to flow now. So we're going to go right through center. We're going to rise into warrior, bringing the palms together. Stretch to the back of the heart. Up and over, extended leg stretch. Bend the front leg. We're going to rise up to warrior one. And then open your arms out for crescent. And we're going to let the shoulder blades drop down. Now, again, you could be using your chair with one hand for stability here. You can hold crescent with your feet firmly planted. If you feel your balance is good, come up onto the ball of the back foot. Another option you can do is to kind of sit back, and remember, you're not shooting your knee out over your toes. You're kind of sitting back and just pulsing a little bit right into the front area here in your hip. So small movement, it's completely optional. If you're having fun with it, go ahead for the pulse, or otherwise hold in stillness. And then we'll plant the back foot and now sweep up into our warrior. Hands stretch to the back of the heart. And come up and over. And ease into the leg stretch. Bend the front leg. Root down into your feet and rise. Hands come to heart, changing sides. Breathing in, rising. And we reach to the back of the heart. Up and over. Extended leg stretch, lengthen, tail to crown. Bending the front leg, root into your feet, rise to warrior. Blossom open, crescent. Shoulder blades moving down, heart pulses forward. And options, stay right here. Come onto the ball of the back foot, holding in stillness, or work that pulse. So again, it's small movement. Your focus is right in the front, in that hip flexor area, right in the front of the hip. And then we'll plant the back foot if you had lifted. Sweep to warrior. Stretch to the back of the heart. Come up and over, leg stretch. Feels good to move. Oh, so important now to be moving. Trying to keep your joints healthy. Keeping your body strong and flexible. Bend the front leg, rise to warrior. Bring the hands to the heart, turn the feet to face forward. Take a big breath in, stretch up out of your hips. Exhale, sweep your arms down, and you can kind of toe and heel in, or you take a little hop into mountain. Breathe in, lift up, and spread your toes. Exhale, sweep your arms down. Big breath into back bend. Stretch through your front lines. Open the arms, follow the heart forward bend. And we're going to reverse out, come all the way up. Hands to heart. And we'll release to mountain. From here, we're going to be moving into warrior two. So we're going to come out wide again. And this time for warrior two, our hips are going to stay toward the front. So back foot turns in, front foot turns out. And we're going to open up our wingspan. Stretch across the heart, knee comes over the ankle, or again, tips back, the shin tips back a little bit toward you. Reaching fingertip to fingertip across the heart line. Your gaze is going to look out over the middle finger that's extended out over your bent front leg. Flip your palms up. Now work your shoulder blades down a little more. And then turn them over and stretch. Root into your legs. Feel the contact points of your feet. And now draw strongly up through the pelvic floor. So this is a very earth-centered pose. We feel that we're pulling energy up through the legs and up through the pelvic floor, creating a really stable base in warrior two. Push firm into your feet. I'm going to change sides. I'm going to sink into our warrior on the other side. So again, one set of toes faces the short end of the mat. Back foot turns in. We're going to sink the hips. Let the arms float up so we feel our wingspan. Again, it's that sensation that your arms begin at the center of the chest. They're just radiating out from the heart. Feeling that heart line, your full wingspan. Flip palms up, work your shoulders down, and then turn the palms over and stretch again. Draw up through the pelvic floor. Feel the strength of your legs. You really want to work your warrior, walk your back foot back, and sink. Bring the front thigh bone parallel to the floor. This isn't for everyone. If your body is happy with it, it makes a very strong, very intense warrior. And you would only do this when you're holding the pose in stillness as well. You wouldn't want to be going this deep when you're flowing with it. So now you're pushing into the feet to come up. You're going to turn to warrior again. And again, if you went out into that real deep warrior, you might walk your feet in a little bit as we're going to start to flow with it. So we're gonna open up our wings, sink the hips, arms float up, stretch across the heart. I'm going to drop the back arm. Now some of you might be keeping the back arm on a chair. The front palm spins up and we're going to rise into the reverse warrior. So now some of you have your hand on a chair for balance. Nothing wrong with that. Otherwise your hand is on your back leg. I'm going to ease forward to an easy side stretch here. So again, you can keep your hand on the chair. Forearm comes to the thigh bone. And then we're going to revolve the chest a little bit, like the center of the chest, like the heart wants to look up toward the ceiling. So that top shoulder feels like it's going toward the wall behind you. We open up across the chest. And again, maybe your hand is on your chair. Stay right here. If you're steady here, sweep your back arm, coming into a side stretch. And as you're bringing that arm up, you're kind of spinning your hand. So the little finger side is going to come toward your face. And then slide your shoulder down away from your ear as you feel that long line right up the side body. Reach into your hand. We're going to flow now. Back to reverse. Flow into side stretch. Just let the upper body release. So feeling soft now. Feel very rooted and strong from the navel center down. Rooted to the earth. The upper body is just kind of floating through the air and the ether. And you come back into a reverse warrior. And then move back to warrior two. Turn the palms to face up. And as you straighten your front leg, you're going to bring the tips of the fingers over the crown of the head. This is the Hakini Mudra. It's for energy balance. What was the front becomes the back. Back becomes the front. And we're going to open out into our warrior on the other side. Hips sink. Find your wingspan. Adjust your stance as you need to. Make sure you've got your feet nice and solid. Use the chair if you need it. Back hand can stay on the chair the whole time. And then we flow, reverse, side stretch, and just float the upper body now. Nice and smooth, move with ease. Rooted through the feet and the legs. Floating the arms, the hands. Come back into reverse. And back into warrior two. Press. Oh, yeah. I always make a mistake. Palms turn up. We're going to come through Hakini Mudra again. Fingertips touching. Feet turn. What was the back becomes the front. Front becomes the back. We sink. And we flow. So just going to take this one more time on each side. If you've had enough, it's okay. Keep going if you're feeling it. Just float the upper body. Relax your hands. Keep strong through the legs. Keep the pelvic floor engaged. Feel your feet. From reverse warrior, the next time you come to reverse, we're going to return to two. Flip the palms up. Hakini Mudra over the crown. Front becomes back. Back becomes front. Warrior two. And flow, reverse. Side stretch. Reverse. And just float now. Strong legs. Release through the shoulders. Just feel tension easing out of the upper back and the shoulders. Float your arms. I'm going to come back to reverse and return to warrior two. Stretch across your heart line. Press firm into your feet. We're going to come up. We'll take Hakini Mudra right over the crown. So we turn the feet to face forward. Now you're going to adjust your feet so that your knees are going to follow the lines of your toes. We're going to bring Hakini Mudra into Prayer Mudra right in front of the heart as we sink into a squat. So again, you might adjust your feet a little bit. Hips are sinking down. Tailbones pointing toward the floor. We're drawing up through the pelvic floor, and we can feel all the contact points of the feet. So we're feeling the ball of the big and little toe, the inner and outer heel. Outer edges of the feet are pressed down. Feel free to stay right here. Hold on to the chair. If you wish, open your arms out. Press the elbows back for goddess. Again, strong pelvic floor, arms are active here. If your balance is good, lift up your toes. Balance on the contact points of your feet. Bring palms together. Push firm into your feet. Straighten your legs. Open out, 5-limb star. Deep breath in. Squeeze every muscle as tight as you can. Pull your muscles, even the little muscles in your fingers and toes in your face, everything's pulling into your skeleton. Squeeze, tighter, tight, 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 squeeze. Let it go with your exhalation. Inhale, arms overhead. Stretch up out of your hips. Exhale, sweep down. And we'll walk the feet in or do a little hop. We come back to mountain. Breathe in, lift and spread your toes as wide as they go. Exhale and sweep down. Breathe in, back bend. Open up, follow the heart. Reverse out, come all the way up. Hands to heart. Release to mountain. Stand for a moment in the stillness of mountain. Just let that energy that you created, that prana that's moving in the body, just let it flow. Circulating. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves to seated. And we're going to come into the bound angle position. So we're going to take the soles of the feet together. And now if you're really tight in this pose, if your knees are up high and you're feeling really tight, try taking your hands behind your back. So you're going to settle onto the sit bones, and then you can pulse here. Push into the floor like you're lifting yourself off the floor. You really won't be lifting. You're just lifting yourself a little bit out of your hips. And you'll feel as you do this pulse, it helps to release the thigh bones a little bit. And you can feel free to continue. If you're really feeling good with this pulse, just stay right here. Or you can come into bound angle, letting the thigh bones release toward the floor, feeling length from the base of the spine to the crown of your head, shoulders down, chin in a little bit. If you would like to try the forward bend, the important thing here is to make sure that you feel yourself releasing from the hips and from the inner lines of your legs. You don't want to get all hunchy and come over this way. When you do that, you're going to put strain into your low back, and you don't want to do that. So we're going to lift nice and tall. And then as you move toward the forward bend, it feels almost as though you're pushing your chest into the wall in front of you. So I always say the heart leads the way. So we're moving the heart forward, and we're feeling the release coming from the hips, from the inner lines of the legs. And if that means that it looks like this for you, you're in a little bit right here, you're feeling a good stretch, stay right here and breathe. So you're just going to ease your way in. Breathing in to lengthen. And with the exhalation, maybe going in deeper. Again, you're going to find your way. You're going to go where it works for you without force. In-breath lengthens, and out-breath releases. You're going to slowly come up. And take your hands to your knees and help them up. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Now lean back on your hands. I'm leaning into my bookcase here. Waiting to give the legs a little shake. Just shake them out. And then bend your knees. And we're just gonna take a nice little rock and roll into the hips. And we'll bring ourselves back. So we come into our seated position. And I'll be leaving you here. I would suggest, as always, after you've done your yoga practice, you might choose to sit in meditation for a little while or put some relaxing music on and lie flat out on your mat. Give yourself about 10 minutes or so of Shavasana. Thank you all very much for joining me again in my sanctuary here. I really and truly appreciate the encouragement that you all have been giving me to keep doing this. I hope that you continue to enjoy the videos, and they really do help me to kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to stay in shape for teaching, I guess. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming into my space, watching my video. Until the next time, be well, be safe. Namaste.